Hey guys, I hope you're having an amazing day. Today we're going to be looking at a cool plugin by Songoda, and it is called Ultimate Timber. Now, if you haven't heard of this plugin, Ultimate Timber, it's a timber plugin. If you don't know what that is, it basically means you're able to chop down a tree by just chopping down the bottom. But this one is very different. It has such cool animations. To download this plugin, all you're going to need to do is just drag and drop this into your plugins folder. And I already know what you're thinking. You're like, bro, a timber plugin? I have MCMMO. Get on my level. And normally I'd say that's valid. But guess what? This plugin actually incorporates MCMMO as a compatibility, so you can use them alongside each other. So why not make chopping down trees look way cooler? Let's hop into Minecraft and we're gonna take a look at this plugin. Now we're over here in Minecraft. This plugin's pretty simple. If I go over here and I chop down this tree, you can see the tree fall. But unlike most other timber plugins where it may just chop it down and just disappear, this one has customizable animations that you could choose between a few different animations. It's perfect for not only chopping down normal oak trees, but say there's bigger trees like these ones. Dark oak is always so annoying to chop down. You just chop that down, and there you go. And over here, I got a giant oak tree. These are the most annoying, as everybody who plays Minecraft knows. These are the ones that are always floating in the sky because everybody's too lazy to chop them all the way down. But here we go. As you can see, in one chop, it all falls down with a really cool animation. Let's head up here. We could try it on this acacia tree. Same thing. We could try it on this spruce tree. This thing's huge. In one chop, it just falls down. What about this jungle tree? One chop. You may be thinking, that's so OP. Like, I don't want that on my server because that's just too broken. So let's go ahead and hop over into the config, and we're going to check out what customization this plugin has. So now we're over here in the config, and you can see here we have a bunch of customization. You could change the language. You could also disable worlds here. So if you don't want Ultimate Timber to work in a certain world, that's perfectly fine. You could also change the maximum logs per chop. So if you want it so that people can't chop down massive trees, or if you want it to only chop down part of the tree, you can change that here. There's also the number of leaves required for a tree. This is perfect for if people are building with logs. You don't want them to get their entire house chopped down, right? So if there's 5 leaves on the tree, then it's going to be considered as a tree, which is really cool because the other day I watched a video of a guy building a house, and then whatever timber plugin they had just chop down their entire house, and that wouldn't have happened if he was using Ultimate Timber. But anyway, so this also shows if the leaves should be destroyed, and that is true. And here is realistic tool damage. So this is set to true, and that negates the point of saying that it's not realistic and it's OP. It does damage based on how many blocks you break. And then we have protect tool. This basically means that when you chop down the tree, it won't be toppled if the tool would break. So that's something that you can enable if you don't want the tool to break if it is at a low durability. So this has apply silk touch. So we can see apply silk touch. This will drop the logs and leaves. Damage the tool extra for each leaf block broken. You have no clue how many times I tried to say that. That is an absolute tongue twister. So if you want the silk touch tool to take damage for each leaf broken, there it is right there. Also, break entire tree base. This is something where, say it is a dark oak tree where it has 4 logs at the base. You would have to break all 4 in order for the tree to fall. So let's go ahead and set that to true. Why not? Don't drop a block for the block that initiates the tree fall. So this will basically mean that it'll drop all the other blocks except for the one that you broke. We want that false because we want all the logs. And then only detect logs upwards. So this wouldn't detect logs that are horizontally with that tree. Right here, another thing that could prevent you from chopping down your entire wooden house is you can make it so that it only breaks the blocks while you're sneaking or while you're not sneaking, which is really useful. So we'll set that to sneaking. And then allow toppling trees in creative mode. We'll just leave that on true. Require the player to have the permission. We'll leave that at false. Then the player tree topple cooldown, that is at false. But if you think it's too OP for people to be able to chop down as many trees as they want, you can add a cooldown there. And then it would be in seconds, which you can see right here, the amount of seconds the player has to wait before they can chop a tree again. I'm going to go ahead. I'll set that to true, and then I'll leave it at 5 seconds. Ignore required tool. That's at false, which we'll leave that. Replant saplings. If you don't want it to replant saplings, you can go ahead and set that to false. And then always replant saplings. We'll leave that at false as well. And then how many seconds to prevent the player from breaking replanted saplings? That doesn't matter because we set it to false. But by default, that is 3. So basically, once the tree falls down, they have to wait 3 seconds in order to break the replanted sapling. Falling blocks, replant saplings, which is set to true. Basically, when the leaves fall, those will replant saplings. We'll leave that at true. And then falling blocks deal damage. That's set to true. So when the leaves are falling, if you're standing under it, then it'll hurt you. You could customize the amount of damage it does. And then automatically add trees to the player's inventory instead of dropping them on the ground. We'll go ahead and we'll set that to true. So it'll just add the logs to my inventory. And then custom particles, they look cool. We'll leave that. Bonus loot multiplier when the player has permission. We don't need that. But if you want that, then you can set the bonus loot permission here and then the multiplier here. Ignore placed blocks, which is true. That's basically if the blocks should be ignored for toppled trees. Basically what this is it's 5,000 blocks. So it'll remember 5,000 placed blocks. You could change this if you want. If it starts taking up too much memory, then you can go ahead and lower that, or you could have it just set to false and then just make sure that up here you have the amount of saplings, maybe up that way people's houses don't get chopped down. And then we could see here the jobs and MCMMO hooks. So this is where if you are running MCMMO, then you can go ahead and hook them in. By default, they're true, but I don't have MCMMO installed, so they aren't going to do anything. You can see the different types of animations. Let's see something different. So we'll set that to disintegrate. Scatter tree blocks on the ground. We'll leave that here. You can see the tree configuration. So you can change the max log distance from the trunk. I would recommend you go through and look at all this because it would take me forever to go through every single one of these. There's so much customization with this plugin. The main stuff is what I already talked about at the top here. So let's go ahead and hop back into Minecraft. So now we're back here in Minecraft and we changed a few things. But first thing we're going to need to do is /ultimate_timber space reload. And that's going to go ahead and reload that configuration file. And now that it's reloaded, we have our changes, right? So the first thing that we changed is we made it so that the trees don't automatically replant. So if I go ahead and break this, actually you'll see it didn't even chop because another setting we changed. We made it so that you have to be sneaking. So now if I sneak and I break this block here, you'll see that it crumbles. So it doesn't have that fancy animation anymore because we changed that to be crumble. If I break this one here, you can see it crumbles, right? And all the logs aren't dropping. They're going straight into our inventory, which is perfect for a prison type server or something similar. Or if you just want them to go into the player's inventory, nothing's wrong with that. And then another setting that we changed was we made it so that if there is silk touch, then it will drop leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and enchant my axe with silk touch. Now my axe has silk touch. So I'm going to go ahead and break this here. And again, I have to be sneaking. And you'll see I got all those leaves. And this is taking a lot of durability. That's why we got some extra axes, because you never know when you're in a pinch and you need 1 or 27 different axes. I just didn't want to run out, okay? So let's go over here. We also made it so that all of the base logs have to be destroyed in order for the tree feller to work, right? So if I sneak here, it's not going to break. It's not going to break. It's not going to break. But this last one chops down the whole tree and it's flooding my inventory. But what happens? Oh my goodness, I'm throwing them all up because my inventory's full. So you can see, even if your inventory's full, it just drops all the items on the ground if you have it go straight to your inventory. We'll go ahead and chop down this tree for good luck. And we're just gonna vomit up all of these logs. And it's gonna break all the leaves slowly, and I'm still vomiting leaves and vines. So pleasing to watch. All right, anyways guys, that's pretty much it for Ultimate Timber. Super simple plugin. If you want to check this out, don't forget to check out Songoda's website. If you head over to plugins, go under Ultimate right here, Ultimate Timber. Be sure to check it out. It's a really cool plugin with a lot of cool features. And like I said, if you're using MCMMO, it'll work perfectly with that. And they also have their wiki on here. So if you click on wiki, it'll pull up all the commands and permissions that you need to use this plugin. If I didn't cover anything and you have more questions, then go ahead and check out their wiki and their website. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's going to be it for now. Until the next one, guys. Later.